Hunter Biden indicted on federal gun charges. So this just comes out. This just came out. This is hot off the press.
So he gets indicted on federal gun charges, but
none of the
not for taking millions of dollars for policy decisions that are affecting the well-being of our country. You know, these people, these judges, and, you know, people think it's Democrat, Republican. These people are all playing together, man. So what they're doing is they're having a conversation on the backside saying, hey, this is hot. We have to do something. We have to relieve some of this pressure. And then they're saying, okay, well, we can do the gun stuff, right? That way we don't have to blow the whistle on all the stuff that all of us actually do. And that doesn't come out in the wash. So we can just stick him with these gun charges. He's going to have to eat that. But that way we protect our livelihood. What is up, guys? It's Andy Frisella, and this is the show for the realists. Say goodbye to the lies, the fakeness, and delusions of modern society, and welcome to motherfucking reality, guys. Today we have Andy and DJ.
Cruise the motherfucking internet.
And that's what we're going to do. We're going to cruise the internet. That's what CTI stands for. It stands for Cruise the Internet. If you're a little slow, we'll help you out. You get you caught up. What we do during this show is we put up topics on the screen that are going on in the world, and then we break them down. We speculate on what's true, on what's not true, and then we talk about how we, the people, can be the solution to the problems going on in the world. Other times when you tune in, we have a variety, a plethora of shows to choose from. We have Q&AF. That's a personal development show where you get to ask questions and we give you the answers. So you could submit your questions to be answered live on the show, and the questions could be about anything. It could be about business, life, personal development, what's going on in the world. What do I think of Grimace? I don't care. You ask me whatever the fuck you want, all right? You can submit your questions a couple different ways. The first way is,
guys, you can email those questions into askandy@andyfrisella.com.
The second way is if you go on YouTube and you go in the Q&AF episodes and you drop your questions right there in the comment section, we'll pick some from there to answer as well. Other times, you're going to hear Real Talk. Real Talk is similar to what we just posted yesterday. If you haven't checked that out, go check that out. It's just 5 to 20 minutes of me giving you some real talk. And then we have what's called 75 Hard Verses. Now, 75 Hard Verses is based on the 75 Hard program, and the 75 Hard program is the initial phase of the Live Hard program. A lot of people don't really understand what Live Hard is, but if you go listen to episode 208, and you, it's on the audio feeds, by the way, it's not on YouTube, but episode 208, you'll get the program for free, both 75 Hard and Live Hard. It'll explain to you what it does. It is the world's only transformative mental toughness program. It's highly successful. You've probably heard about it. Gets spread all over, and people call it a trend, but, you know, trends don't typically grow year after year for 4.5 years straight. That's called something that works. And if you want to fix your shit, there's nothing better to do it. So go check out episode 208 on the audio feed and get your shit straight. Now, guys, we do have, as we occasionally do, a very special guest joining us for this CTI. Good buddy of mine, been a friend of mine for a long time, Mr. Nick Jones. What's happening, brother?
What's going on, Andy? Thanks for having me. I'm good, man. How are you?
Good. Now, you guys think this is just my buddy, but in reality, Nick has a crazy story to tell. He's a Navy Cross recipient. And if you know what the Navy Cross is the medal that is right below the Medal of Honor. And the way that he earned that cross is something that we're going to talk about a little bit before we get the show going. So let's talk about that. Where do you want to start?
Well, man.
I mean, where did you begin your military career? What made you decide you wanted to join the military?
So, I mean, considering the date, 3 days ago, 22 years, 9/11 happened. I was very young. I was probably 4th grade, 5th grade. And as soon as that happened in my life, I started to follow the Iraq and Afghanistan invasion. My sister is 9 years older than me, so a bunch of her friends started joining, and I was watching, following them. And then growing up in Kansas City, just right down the road from you guys, I mean, I thought I experimented with all sorts of other drugs and alcohol at a younger age, and I was just like, you know,
lived a typical Midwestern upbringing.
Right, yeah. So it's like, all right, like I'm already living that war path, and I want to go fight for this country, and that's just what was like in my blood. And so I ended up going to this alternative school. I almost dropped out of high school, but I was like, I need my degree so then I can go into the Marine Corps. And as soon as I graduated December 2009, I left in January of 2010 to go to boot camp. So as soon as I turned 18, I went, shipped off. I started my career in Camp Pendleton as a infantry Marine. I was a mortarman at the beginning, so basically just dropping bombs in tubes and hitting people from far distances. I did a deployment as a mortarman, and then I saw these snipers running around in their ghillie suits, and I was like, I want to try out for that. Like, that's what I got to go do. Mm-hmm. So as soon as we got back, I tried out for the sniper platoon, and we're running around all over Camp Pendleton and starting to do a workup for the next deployment to Afghanistan. And I start seeing all of these signs around the base for MARSOC. And I was like, what is MARSOC? I knew what recon was, which was like what started MARSOC back in the day. MARSOC is the Marine Special Operations Command. So if you think about, most people still don't know who we are. I think it was started in 2006. So it's very new, but it's an up-and-coming special operations community, basically.
So this would be equivalent to like
Green Berets or Navy SEALs, right. Air Force PJs, things like that.
Okay.
But yeah, so we mirror pretty much identically for a Green Beret team.
Okay.
So now it's evolved into something that's pretty amazing. There's all sorts of different teams, and they're all regionally aligned to different areas. I was specifically in a jump team, so we did a lot of like advanced free fall stuff, jumping from 29,000 feet. And every time I'm up in a commercial plane, I'm looking down. I'm like, man, I've jumped from this high.
Do you have to have like a mask on and everything for that?
Yeah, we pre-breathe on oxygen the whole way up, and then getting ready, suiting up in the plane, and then putting oxygen on before we jump out. It's really cool because then
badass.
By the time you jump out, like we open really high as well, and you're sitting there floating under this parachute, seeing the curvature of the earth and just hanging out. It's freezing cold up
Bro, you're
there.
going to have all the flat earthers mad about that.
Yeah. I've seen this shit. Yeah, so anyways, like I basically I continued to search for more in my career. Mm-hmm. Once I made it to the sniper community, I was like, this is great, but I know that there's more. I want to go try out for the next best thing. So I tried out for MARSOC in 2013. I moved really quick. I tried to move as fast as I could because I was like, I just felt the potential. I felt the growth happening, and I knew I had this like leadership mentality that I needed to let like eat. So I took selection in 2013. That was 6 weeks long. It was pretty gruesome. Lots of ruck running, lots of carrying heavy weight and just moving through the woods. And
what's the ruck running like? I got to know about this.
So we have 45-pound rucks without or before food and water. Okay. And then like, if you're like me, I drink a lot of water when I'm moving, and I don't like to be without it, because there was a mission in Afghanistan where my team ran out of water, and then we got extended 2 more days, and it was just a fucking rough day, rough couple days. And so I moved with a lot of water on me. And basically, we do a timed 4, 8, 10, and 12-mile ruck run. And the 12-miler is what normally gets people, especially because we start so late and then we end when it's still dark, and it's like dudes are just going, and it's like the super long, like dreadful trail that you're on, and it's just like never ending. But that's when that mental fortitude kicks in, and it's just like, I gotta keep going.
What's the time on a 12-hour ruck run?
I think you had to complete it in under 2.5 hours.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
So you're really running.
You got to move.
Yeah.
You have to move. Yeah. And
that's an awkward run, dude, because I've been secretly, okay, you don't know this, but I've actually been trying to run with my ruck.
Yeah.
Because I get so tired of all these people out here bragging about all their running. I've determined that I'm going to learn how to run like properly.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, fuck it, I'll learn to run with my ruck on, and then it'll be that much cooler.
Yeah.
So I've been doing it, and it's really fucking hard to do, bro.
Yeah.
Because the shit's bouncing on you the whole time. It's really it's like an uncomfortable thing. What do you just get used to that?
You do.
Find like a rhythm?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
So that's like a 12.5-minute mile.
Yeah, you're
Right?
cruising, dude.
Like that's fast.
yeah, you can't, if you're walking, you have to speed walk. I mean, it's
It's a
you're
hustle.
moving. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So it is, dude, like I would say that you get used to it, but it sucks every time you do it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I mean, you got to be a psychopath if you think that it's like
No big
that.
deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there are some dudes that will book it. I mean,
Yeah.
like running faster than I run without.
Bro, did
My
you see
pack
Will?
on.
Did you see what Will did out there?
No.
So Will did 100-pound mile and did it in like 8 minutes?
Like I said,
Like
psychopaths.
yeah,
can do
dude.
that.
Yeah.
Will's one of
That's
those guys.
insane.
Bro, I couldn't even run an 8-minute mile with no weight.
Yeah.
Like I really couldn't do it.
It's
Yeah.
hard. Man.
Yeah, I'm totally green when it comes to that.
Yeah.
But that's crazy.
It's wild.
Well, I got a new goal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There you go.
for real. So
So you joined Marsoc. Marsoc. So how do we get to this picture? And so for those of you guys at home, this is when you receive
Yeah.
your Navy. How do we get to this picture here?
So January 2020, it'll be my third deployment with my Raider team. So when you get in there, you're called a Marine Raider. I was an element leader, which I'm basically in charge of like 4 other guys in my team, but I was one of the more senior combat, like veteran guys in my team. So whenever we got to Iraq, we were still hunting ISIS. And, you know, it's 2020. At the beginning of it, when I got there, the world was still somewhat put together. The team that we had just replaced there actually lost one of their highest enlisted guys on a mission in August. So when we were getting ready for our turnover, we were like, hey, man, like, there's shit still happening. There's still combat happening overseas. No matter what you see on the news, like there's dudes fighting and there's dudes that are dying. And a lot of my guys have never been to combat before.
yeah, and at
so-
this point, they're not even talking about it anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah. And so, you know, it was a real thing getting into it. And what ISIS had now come down to is basically like, I mean, they were damn near getting close to a conventional force. They were running, they had like a whole governance established and all of this stuff. They started as an insurgency and the way that they move up. Well, now they were basically back down to an insurgency. So now they're hiding out in caves. They're in these little sleeper cells all over the big cities. And so our task when we were there was to hunt them and find them and kill them, take care of them however we can. We found ourselves being tasked with a lot of like cave and tunnel clearances. That's not something that we've really even messed with since Vietnam, like all the tunnel rats and things like that. So it was interesting, especially as a special operations team. Like we work in a very small capacity. We have assets, but basically we had to get creative with explosives, with the way that we enter, with the way that we engage with our partner force. So now we're teaching them to be able to crawl into these tunnels and clear these things out. So we have done several of them at this point, and it was late February, and my team gets tasked with this really large cave clearance operation. We'd been watching this thing for, I think, weeks at this point. All they've seen was 7 ISIS fighters coming in and out of these caves. They've seen 7 entrances, and it looked like a pretty straightforward mission. It was on the side of this mountain, and I had a pretty good plan, I think. We had it all set up. We were going to drop 2,000-pound bombs on every cave entrance right before we entered. So it was like, all right, cool. Like the ground's going to be softened up. Dudes are probably going to be concussed. We already knew that it wasn't going to kill them. We've been in caves before. Like you strike it with a bomb, it's only going to hit the surface. It's not going to penetrate in there and actually like kill the dudes. But we had snipers in place. We had machine gunners in place, and my team flies in. They start dropping bombs. I guess let me back up, because So I told you that they had only seen 7 guys at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Well, 24 hours before we were about to leave, we tell our partner force what we're going to go do. They knew that we'd been doing rehearsals for something. They didn't know where we were going. So within that 24 hours before we were about to leave, the intelligence starts coming back like, hey, now there's 10 guys there. Now there's 11. Now there's 12. We're about 2 hours before we're going to leave. There's 19 motherfuckers on the ground.
And how many on your?
We have a lot.
Okay.
We had.
But the numbers are building up.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So, and in the planning, you basically have these go and no-go criterias. And a no-go criteria is like if they reinforce to double their size. Well, they're over double. And they were like, we're still going.
Mm-hmm.
Which, as killers, you know, we're like, let's fucking go. I'm ready. Like, I'm ready to go do my job. But now it's real. And we know that we're going to get into a fight. So once we land, they're hitting this shit. They're really softening it up for us. Bombs are making good impacts. Snipers engage some dudes, kill some guys. Machine gunners let loose, and they kill some guys as well. But now there's no real like head count. We don't know how many guys are still alive. We don't know what's still out there. And I'm leading the patrol down. Once we land in our helicopters, I think I have like 50 Iraqis with me.
Oh, shit.
And then there's probably 20 US. And so we start walking down the mountain, and you can still see the plumes of smoke from the bombs that had just been dropped. It was pretty wild. Once we reach a certain point, I call up to the support by fire, which is like the machine gunners and the snipers, and I was like, hey, when I reach this point, I need you guys to just start shooting because I'm going to start making noise and walking up to where I need to go. So they do. They actually engage a couple more bad guys in that movement, which was pretty cool. I throw some smokes and then pop up on these rocks, and as soon as we get up there, we start seeing the first caves. But at this point, people in the back are starting to get kind of antsy. They want to go do work as well, and we got a lot of fucking guys. So my team chief, which was the highest enlisted guy in my team, he was a gunnery sergeant. So 1 rank higher than me, but still like a very senior guy in the team. He said, hey, I see something over here. I want to split off and go take care of this real quick. I tried to tell him no, like just wait. We're almost done clearing this cave out. I was literally had hands on this dead ISIS fighter, like pulling all of this stuff out of his pockets, getting his fingerprints and whatnot, whatever we do to the sensitive exploitation.
Processing.
Yeah, processing, exactly. So once he continues to go do what he thought he needed to go do, he breaks off and takes about half of the patrol. And the reason why you don't really do that is like you start getting sucked in. You see more and more things, and then basically like now he's got a other assault force that's completely detached from the original plan. And they start getting further sucked down and down into this mountain. Well, now the support by fire can't see them anymore. I can't see them anymore. They're basically in the middle of us. And I was like, okay, like they can do this. We're all trained for this. We all know what to do. Let's just keep fucking going. I go up to this next cave. I had just thrown in this grenade inside. It's kind of like our SOP, our standard operating procedure. Let's just throw something in there, soften it up, peek our head in there, and see what we got. And when I do that, huge explosion. It's called an ASM round, an anti-structural munition. It's almost a full pound of C4, which is it's a pretty big bang in this little grenade. But it covers everything in dust, and I peek up and I look at him, and there's this dead ISIS fighter in there, completely white, covered in dust. And this guy's face is going to be forever ingrained in my memory, because as I'm staring at him, he's fully kitted out. He's still got his rifle like right there. He's got an M16. There's an AK there. There's a PKM, which is a belt-fed machine gun that's mounted into the wall, that's looking down into the valley. Like, they were ready for us. They were ready for a fucking fight. But as I'm staring at this guy, I'm like, okay, I'm going to make entry into this cave. I just hear this fucking hell break loose behind me. Machine guns, grenades, like all of this like chaos. And I was like, holy crap, like these guys are in contact, and they're calling it in contact 5 meters, 20 meters, 5 meters. And then it's just like, there's a casualty. And at first I didn't know who it was, if it was partner force, if it was one of us, if it was we had some French guys with us. And then a couple seconds later, there's an Eagle down. And an Eagle is a U.S. service member. And freaking gut drops. And I was like, oh my God. It's fine. They got it. They got it under control. And then not even a second later, there's another Eagle down. And I was like, I just got the goosebumps. I was like, oh shit. And I turn around and I look at my Iraqis and I was like, hey, you guys stay here. You need to watch this cave. I got to go. And I just ran as fast as I could. And they call these, I mean, it was probably the most untactful way that I could get there, but I ran up and over this finger of this mountain. I ran by like 2 other caves that I didn't know if they'd been cleared or not. And there's blankets and there's like little hidey positions in there. So I just shoot a couple rounds through each one of those. And I'm just like, I got a fucking mission and I got to get these guys as fast as I can. And I get down there and everybody is frozen. Nobody knew what to do, but there's a fuck ton of gunfire going off still. And I was like, yo, where are the casualties? Like, what's going on? Tell me something. And it's just like, dudes are like ghosts. Like, I don't know what the fuck to do. So I throw my ruck off and I jump into where I hear the fire coming from. And there's one guy in there fighting, and it's a French guy. I start asking him what the deal is. He can't even speak English. And I'm like, okay, guns pointed this way, bad guys are this way. So, I mean, the walls are close. They're closer than these walls here. And there's boulders, rocks, everything. And I get a wild hair at my ass and I start crawling up these rocks. And I still have my like NVGs up on my head. And I pop up over this rock and I see this massive cave entrance that's just stacked with rocks, like a big ass bunker. As soon as I see it, they see me, and immediate machine gun fire like makes me get my head down. And as I popped my head up, I saw a body right up there, and I was like, well, there's no way this dude's alive. If they're shooting this much at me, like there's no fucking way.
This is one of our guys.
I didn't know at the time. And so this French guy starts yelling. He's yelling something, and later I found out he's telling this person to roll. He's saying it in French, but whatever he was saying, he's just like, roll, roll, roll. And all of a sudden I see these legs fly up in the air. And my first instinct was like, I need to go grab him. So I just chicken wing my gun, basically just put my buttstock under my armpit and run up there. And I shooting with one hand, and I grabbed this dude with the other, just shooting as fast as I could, pull him down and like push him down off of these rocks, and then get him down to this other French guy, and he grabs him, and I'm dumping rounds. I have to reload real quick and still shooting. And finally, like, dudes woke up, they fucking pulled him out, and he was shot through and through in the left leg and shot in the top of the head. Luckily, he was alive. He was a French operator, French special operator. And I was like, okay, you said there's 2 other casualties. You said there's 2 Americans. Where the fuck are the other guys? And this is after I had gotten out of that situation. And they're like, I think that they're up there in front of the cave. And I was like, well, there's no fucking way I can get there from here. So I basically got out of that situation. I went and I walked on top of the cave now. Like they're like in this like nasty cut ravine thing. And basically I'm on top of the roof now. And
how far below you are they?
It was probably 4 feet.
Oh, okay. So you're like right on top.
I am right on top of them. Like they could hear everything I was doing.
Right.
So when I got there, I talked to my snipers, and they were like walking me on to exactly where to walk. So then I didn't like have to like come over and like look around the edge and do this. Like I wanted to be right on top, and they walked me right up to it. And as I get closer and closer, I start to see the aftermath down there, and I see one body, and the first body that I see, I'm like, there's no fucking way this dude's alive. Just by the looks of it, I could confirm right there. He was just dead. He was dead.
Yeah.
And then I move up just a little bit more, and I see my other teammate, and it was almost convincing that he was alive. So I said his name a few times. He was sitting upright. His eyes were still open. It's almost in the position there. He was pushing back because he was still fighting. And that's it right there. So yeah, I'd see him, and then basically when I confirmed that they were both dead, I was like, fuck. I pushed back. I called over the radio. I said, hey, sir, this is what's happened. Mo and Diego are gone. They're dead. And he's like, what do you mean? It's like, I just told you. Like, they're gone. He's like, you need to go back and confirm. I was like, I'm telling you right now, sir, they are dead. And it was the hardest thing that I've had to do, you know, but it was like, I need to make a new plan. Mm-hmm. Like, it's no longer like hunting ISIS. It's now a recovery mission. So I had a bunch of grenades on me still. And I was like, I'm just going to go back up there. I'm going to do everything I can. I'm going to jump down there and pull these dudes out. It'll be done. So I go up and I basically lay on top of their roof and I start leaning over like you're going to look underneath a desk, and I start chucking grenades in. And like I could literally see the whites of their eyes when I would fucking look down there and chuck these grenades, and they would just be shooting up at me. And now we start taking shots from the other side of the valley, and we find out that they've got fighting positions all over, like looking at this one main trap, this one main bunker. And so I throw a few grenades in there, still getting shot at. I'm like, dude, I can't get down here. So I call an Apache, an attack helicopter, basically. I said, hey, like, I first called the JTAC and the Joint Terminal Air Controller, and I was like, hey, I need you to help me, like, thread some bombs through this fucking cave. And he's like, okay, well, like, you need to talk to this guy. I don't know exactly where you need me to put it. And so I was like, okay, like, helicopter, you see me? I'm standing on the cave right now. Here is your grid. Fucking shoot this, please. And he's like, okay.
Like 4 feet low.
Yeah. Yeah. And
don't fucking shoot me.
Yeah. So he's like, okay, well, you need to move. And I was like, well, yeah, no shit. So, and I go and I move. He's like, I can still see you. You need to move farther. I was like, dude, I am low on water. I'm low on ammunition. I'm tired as fuck. I'm not moving anymore. I'll hide behind this rock. And he's like, okay, I'll let it rip. So they shot 220 30 millimeter rounds in there, and the snipers were like, there's no effect. Rocks didn't move. Nothing fucking happened. I was like, thread a hellfire in there, please. With all due respect, fucking do it.
Yeah.
And they did, and still nothing, man. I went back up there. I tried again. I threw some more grenades in there, and I was still getting some gnarly fucking feedback. Like, they were still shooting at us from every angle.
How was it that that missile didn't do anything?
If you could see a photo of this cave, like, they had these rocks, and like it was such a small cutout. I don't know. I personally didn't get to enter the cave. Later that night, a few dudes did, from Delta Force. Some guys came in that night and actually got to recover our guys. So super thankful for them and what they do and how fucking hard they train. Like, yeah. So basically I went back up there. I tried a couple more times, and I was almost at the point where I was like, man, I don't know what else to do. If I tell him to go down there, he's got 2 kids, he's got a kid, like, I'm going to get other people killed. Mm-hmm. Like, I'd rather keep trying this for myself. And I went back up there for the last time. We're shooting, we're throwing more grenades in there. And the next thing you know, it's just like, bam. It's like, holy fuck, what was that? I got shot. I had like no other, I get down, I like kind of roll back, and I was like, my leg is burning. It's on fire right now.
Now, where'd they hit you?
Right in the shin, in my right shin. And I didn't see a bunch of blood at the beginning, and I looked down. I'm like, man, I feel like I'll be okay. I try to walk over to my medic, and I was like, my leg was burning.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know if I broke something or what happened. And I get over there, and he looks at it, and it's already super swollen and just a little tiny trickle of blood coming out. It almost looked like I got like shot by a BB. Like, so something was lodged in my leg, like made it super swollen right off the bat, but I couldn't put any weight on it. And so I went over to the medic. I was like, hey, dude, I think I just got shot. He's like, what do you mean you think you got shot? I was like, I don't know. My leg hurts. It's fucking bleeding. Check me out. Yeah. And he's like, all right, let me check it out. So he looks. He's like, yeah, sure as shit. So I basically called up to the commander and I was like, hey man, like we need a new plan. Their plan was to fucking drop a bomb on it. And I'm like, dude, no, you have 2 Americans sitting at the base of this cave. You cannot do that. Like that, not going to happen. We need another plan. And I'm a staff sergeant telling high-ranking officers what to do.
Yeah.
There's other high-ranking individuals out there that weren't really taking command. And it was just like, dude, I felt capable, but I'm a low-ranking guy. There's a command structure for a reason. Why am I the one fucking stepping up to make these calls and telling officers no on certain things?
It's interesting how people respond to those types of situations.
It really
you never
is.
really know until you're in it.
Yeah. And it's like dudes can respond one way in training, and then it's like once the real things are happening, that's where, yeah, some dudes will just shut down. But so they basically made the call. They were going to wait for the quick reaction force to come in, the QRF. And once they showed up, they were like, okay, well, let's just watch the cave for a while, make sure that nobody fucks with our guys, and wait for the special mission unit to come in. So that the Delta Force unit came in that night. They got into a gnarly firefight, killed like 4 more bad guys inside the cave. They made entry in there, and then a suicide vest cranked off in there, blowing. Luckily, no other U.S. dudes got injured. I think a couple dudes did take, I don't know, maybe a couple cuts and scratches or whatever, but the only...
Are those suicide vests like filled with like shrapnel and stuff like that? Like just like you see on TV?
Yeah. It's wild, man. Like beads, I don't know, like marbles, ball bearings, nails, like all sorts of nasty shit. Depending on like who the maker is, they'll have their own like taste on what they want to put in there. Working with like the EOD techs, like the explosive ordnance disposal guys, I got to experience a lot of like working with that stuff and explosives. So I would help them like blow in place a lot of stuff. We call it bipping. So like we would take like suicide vests and all sorts of other shit that they had made and like blow them up where they were so nobody could use them anymore. But it was just wild. You dissect these things and see like they're putting fucking nails in there. They're putting all sorts of like rusted out screws and weird shit. Yeah. So it just like wreaks havoc on whatever it hits. So yeah. Once I got medevaced, like the terrain was so steep, they had to bring down a hoist. So a helicopter lowered down this wire, and this medic picked me up from the side of the mountain, picked me up, took me to the hospital, and I was sitting next to the French guy in there, his leg's blown out, and I got this little pinprick in my leg, and like the doctors are like, oh, you'll be fine, man, like you'll be walking in 2 weeks, no problem. 2 weeks come by, still can't walk, still on crutches. And I basically told my team, I was like, hey man, like I can't do this anymore. I need to go get more help. So went and tried to get more help and had to get back to the States. And now it's April 1st by the time I get back home. April 1st of 2020. And it's a fucking ghost town everywhere. COVID was running rampant through the Middle East. COVID is now taking over the States. So this picture right here is when I landed in Wilmington. My wife and maybe 2 other friends were there to greet me. Nobody from the Marine Corps, nobody from the government, nobody from my team. Most of my team was still deployed, but like, because they couldn't, because of COVID.
Yeah, just like,
and
we couldn't have funerals.
Yeah.
Just like people had to die over a Zoom call. Just like a lot of bullshit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And they made me go straight home and quarantine for 2 weeks. No visitors, no phone calls, no fucking nothing. Spending a lot of time on my couch looking like a couch potato. And I had to coordinate my own travel up to Walter Reed every time for my surgeries, for all of that stuff. And go get my surgeries, still no real check-in, still no heads up, what's up, how you doing, thank you for what you did, nothing. I guess, it's like, whatever. I did my job. I'm going to get back out there. My goal was to get surgery and go back out to country because I got shot in March. We just got there in January. So I'd only been there 2 months. And after that first surgery, man, it was like, there's fucking no way. Like in the back of my head, I was like, I want to get back there, but I doubt it. And
what did they find was going on with your leg?
So whenever I got hit, basically whatever went in there like shrapneled out or splintered out and destroyed my superficial peroneal nerve, and which is one of your main sensory nerves in your leg. And so it was just causing all of this crazy pain. And then I ended up getting this rare syndrome called complex regional pain syndrome. So it basically took over my sympathetic nervous system and like started, like every time I would get mad, sad, angry, or depressed, like my leg would flare up. I could literally feel it and see it, and it was just, it was fucking insane. I didn't really believe that stuff. I was very much a part of that whole, like, it sounds fucked up, but like I didn't think that PTSD was real because I kind of thought like, oh, well, those dudes are too weak. They just couldn't handle combat. They couldn't handle stress.
Man, up.
Yeah,
right.
And it was just like, here's a fucking straw, dude. Suck it up.
Yeah.
But then when this happened, this was literally the straw that broke the camel's back, because it was like I cried almost every single day after that. Like all of those images were burned into my brain. Like then I get this, like I was at the peak physical performance of my fucking career, and now it's like I get shot. I can barely walk. Like my wife, literally, one of your athletes, literally carried me inside when I had this infection in my leg. I was 6 surgeries deep, thinking that I was going to be able to run like a week before that. And I get this fucking gnarly infection in my leg that nearly kills me. I went septic. I got 106 fever. I was like, I'm about to die. I made it through all of this shit. Now I'm about to die from this thing.
Infection.
Yeah. And what
badass you are.
Yeah. I know, right? God damn. And so she carries me inside, and I was like, this is a low point in my life, but at least I got a strong wife to be able to do it. So
well, how she carried you wasn't bad. I feel like
we saw it. I think she posted it.
Yeah.
It wasn't
video,
like,
our camera.
It wasn't like she like
a baby.
Yeah, that's still respectable.
Well, let's be real, bro. It's not like she's like some like weak ass woman either.
No,
she's very athletic, very strong, and very no bullshit.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
And man, like if I got to give credit to anybody, it's her, because every surgery, everything that I went through, she was right there. She was, every second of the day, like whatever I needed, I was right there. And I didn't really do a very good job at giving her what she deserved at that time, because it was booze, it was drugs, it was whatever I could to stop feeling this pain and misery. And, it actually was what really woke me up is I got notified that I was going to get awarded the Navy Cross. And I was like, holy shit, man, like this award doesn't just get handed out. Like this is the real fucking deal. Like I fantasized about people who would get these awards, and I was like, that is so badass. And then as soon as they told me that I was getting this thing, I was like, this isn't cool anymore. Like I don't really want this. I'd rather have these dudes back. I'd rather not have that like detriment on my soul. And it was December 21, January of 22, I started to become extremely suicidal, because they had told me, or I had just received the Navy Cross August 26th of 2021. And that was actually the same day that 13 Marines were killed in the Kabul
Afghanistan withdrawal.
Yeah. So like I'm prepping for my speech for the Navy Cross ceremony, and I get a phone call from the Secretary of the Navy, and he says, hey, Staff Sergeant Jones, like, I'm sorry, but I'm sure you heard, but there was just this bombing in Afghanistan, and I won't be able to make it because these 13 Marines just died. And I was bummed. I was shocked. I was obviously feeling sorry for them, but also reliving everything that I had just gone through. And I'm like, man, like, because of everything in the world that was going on when my team got killed, or when my teammates got killed, nobody fucking knew about it. Nobody even bat an eye about it. It was on the news for maybe 20 minutes. Mm-hmm. Nobody knew that another U.S. force dude got shot. Like, there's still people fucking figuring out what happened on that day when my team got hit. And it was like a very intense, like, I mean, we still lost American lives and nobody fucking knew about it.
Yeah.
We were still over there. We were fighting ISIS. We were actively hunting dudes and nobody fucking knew.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just kind of shocked again. I was like, dude, it's happening again. Like, the dude's not going to come here because something else in the world is, you know, it's happening, and that's life. But I actually got a call again from him in like 20 minutes. He's like, you know what? He's like, we lose guys often, unfortunately. He's like, but it's not every day that we get to award somebody for the things that they've done. He's like, so we just fired up the helicopter. We'll be there in a little bit. I was like, holy fuck. Like, that's wild.
That's a lot of ebbs and flows of just emotions.
It was, man. And it was just like,
that was a traumatic day for, I think, everybody. I can't imagine like seeing the aftermath of that bombing, and then seeing those guys like fall from the airplanes and shit that day. Like, that's like, like, that was traumatic for me, and I didn't have any skin in that. You know what I mean? I can't imagine what that's like for you.
And it's like everybody's, you know, bringing up the whole, like, you know, we fought there for 20 years. Like, what are we doing? What are we throwing away? And it's just like, man, we lost a lot of fucking guys, and we lost them on the fucking last day that we were there too. And it's just like, what is this still going on for? And it's like, it was super fucking hard, because it's like we fought for so much, and now it's like you're pulling out like this and you're fucking making us look like chumps, dude. So it was definitely hard. It was cool though that they actually were able to come and recognize this, and we were actually able to talk about it on that day too. And it was actually on 9/11 in 21, I went up to Walter Reed and got to visit those guys and see them, and it was awesome seeing like the overwhelming amount of support that they had. Like, all sorts of people from the command and the Marine Corps and the Navy, everybody was up there to see them. They had a bunch of support, so that was great to see. Like, I mean, the kids deserved it. They were so young, dude. That was the wild part. Like, they were, I mean, I was young when this happened to me, but I mean, I was 28 and they were like 19, 20, 23. Like, it was fucking crazy. So anyways.
Yeah, they're fucking kids, bro.
Yeah. And yeah, I'm glad that they had the support they did up there. It was good to see. So all of this shit is going on. And like I said, I was very much a part of that stigma. I was a part of that mentality, like, just suck it up. And it starts hitting me more and more. I'm going through all of these treatments, but it was December of 21 into January of 22. Like, I went through retirement. I moved out to Montana. I thought that was going to be my fix, but I was drinking more than ever. I was getting more depressed than ever. And I was just like, I'm done. Like, this is it. So, yeah, I ended up trying to attempt to kill myself and ended all right there. And, you know, I was just like, we're about to have this kid, and I can't be like this. I can't be this person and raise a daughter. Well, I didn't know it was going to be a daughter at that time yet, but basically, man, like, I don't know, Fletcher was in there with me, my service dog, and I was in the garage and I was drinking a lot, and I ended up pulling the trigger on my 9mm, and I have literally never had a malfunction happen like that. Gun didn't go bang, and there was a round in the chamber and everything. And I basically took this big sigh, and Fletcher came up and was like, "What's up, dude? Like, what's going on?" Wagging his tail, licking my face, and I was just bawling. And I was like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, I need to get my shit together. And we got invited to this convention, this Legion of Valor.
Bro,
convention.
that was God, man.
It had
I don't know what you believe. We don't ever talk about that, but that's divine intervention, dude.
It was something.
Yeah.
I got you.
That means you have a much, much, much bigger purpose here. Real talk.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been friends for a long time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm glad that happened.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're still fucking here, bro.
It was definitely...
I never heard that story before just now.
And that's the thing, is like I still feel so like weird. I feel taboo about talking about it because I feel, I don't know, like I'm fucking sweating right now thinking about it because it's like I don't want anybody to know that side of me, but it's like why not? Like
I think it's important for people to hear that.
Yeah, it's like you need to understand that this shit can happen, and when it does happen, like there's so many other fucking people that have been there in your shoes right now. Like all you got to do is reach out, and there's going to be somebody right there either at your fucking doorstep or talking to you all damn night long, and like you just have to fucking tell somebody. And it's like that's kind of what I want to get across, because it's like whenever I ended up going to this Legion of Valor convention, a convention with all of these like war heroes, all Medal of Honor recipients, Navy Cross, like Service Cross recipients. My goal was to be like, how the fuck are you still alive? I've gone 1 year with having this award, and I already tried to kill myself. Like, why are you still here? How? Like, how do you live with this? And it's just like, it's just wild to see like that you just have to live. You have to be present. You have to love life and like actually be willing to fucking fight for what you've fought for so long. You fought for so fucking hard for all of this shit, and it's all fucking worth it. And now it's like, I'm about to have a daughter, and this is something to live for. My wife is something to live for. My life, dude, it's a fucking gift. Like, that's why they call it the present. It's because living in the present, it's a fucking gift. So, now I feel like I do feel more obligated to talk about it, just because it's like somebody somewhere
needs
to fucking hear it.
Yeah, man.
Because it's like what I thought is I'm supposed to be this hero with this fucking big medal on my chest, and I'm supposed to be bigger and badder than everybody else, but it fucking hurts. And even though we still hold this title and we still have all of this like weight behind us, it's like this shit can still hit us too. And, you know, doesn't matter who you are, doesn't wait for anybody.
Why do you think it got accelerated after you were recognized for what you did? Or do you think that had anything to do with it?
I don't really know if that had much to do with it. I think it was all building up, and, you know, certain instances kept happening. And it was just like, I don't know, it was just a lot to fucking handle. Yeah. And it's like I've been through it before. Like I've dealt with a lot of death. Like July 10th of 2017, we had a plane crash that killed 16 Marines. 7 of them were in my company. One of them was one of my best friends. I literally had to go notify his wife that night. I had to get dressed up in my uniform and go there. And that was actually my best friend, Talon Leach. So I had to go tell his wife that he's never coming home. And it's like, that shit only happens in movies. I literally have watched movies of dudes going to knock on doors in their fucking Alpha service uniform. And it's just like, never in my life did I think that was me. And what did I do the week after that? I went to the shoot house. Like we went right back to training, and it was like, okay, let's go to work. Like we were just so good at compartmentalizing because we had to like turn it back on like in an instant. And it's the same fucking thing in the real world. It's like, well, I got to go back to work. Like, this person just passed away. This just happened to me. I got in a fucking crazy car accident. But it's like all of these things in life, they continue to build and build and build. But it's like, if we just keep shoving it down and not doing anything about it, that's when it becomes such a detriment to your mental health. And it's like, you have to address it. You have to be willing to talk about it. You have to be willing to sit with it and feel it. And like, I mean, since my last surgery in July of 2022, I stopped drinking. So I've been sober for 1 year and 2 months now.
That's awesome.
And it's been the best thing that's ever fucking happened to me.
Yeah.
Because now I can literally sit there and feel my feelings, like feel my thoughts and all of this shit. And it's just like, it's hard.
Yeah.
But it's real. It's me. It's like, this is all me now.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Alcohol's a fucking killer, bro.
It is.
Like I grew up just like you, doing the drinking and, you know, smoking weed and fucking running around, getting in fights and doing all that shit. And dude, I spent a lot of years in the alcohol. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and dude, once I cut it out for the most part, because I mean, dude, I might drink like twice a year now. It doesn't, your life gets way better, dude.
Yeah.
It's way better, especially if you're carrying a lot of weight. You know, when I have people that come to me and they're struggling, the first thing I tell them, I say, bro, stay away from alcohol and control what you can control. Those are the 2 things I tell anybody when they come to me. Fuck.
So what is Nick Jones doing now? What's the, where are we at today?
Yeah. So currently, I'm the president and founder of a nonprofit called Talon's Reach Foundation. We support special operators who have been morally, mentally, or physically wounded. So it doesn't have to be related to combat. You don't have to have a Purple Heart. You don't have to have a Valor Award. It's some sort of moral, mental, or physical injury, kind of just like what I just said. We bring guys out to Montana. We have a 5-day-long systematic approach to healing. We do all sorts of different holistic methods to healing. So we introduce them to yoga, mindfulness, meditation, breath work, art therapy, music therapy. We get them outdoors. We immerse them into nature. We basically get them to get their mind off of fucking everything else that's going on in life. But then we do the hard work, which is the education piece. So we teach them about traumatic brain injury, PTSD, this other term called operator syndrome, which is basically like hypervigilance, anxiety, depression, anger, all of this shit crammed into one thing that creates like a dysfunctional type of operator. That is like, most people either think that they are suffering from PTSD or TBI, and now they've basically join those two, and it's just like, it might be this. So we teach about all of that stuff and basically what happens to the brain when trauma strikes and ways to mitigate those. I basically got on this path because talk therapy, going to the psychologist, like sitting in a fucking 4-wall white room with one person that just like never understood, would always fucking, every time I came back, it's like, so tell me about yourself.
Yeah,
it's like,
bro.
dude, I just fucking told you my story 100 times. When are we going to move on from this?
And their candy's always shit. That's the worst part about it. Like, they always got bullshit candy. Like, at least have the real shit. If you're
I'm not an advocate for that sort of therapy.
Right.
I feel like, and I've experienced plenty of it.
Yeah.
Believe it or not.
Yeah.
Some of you motherfuckers think I still need it. I probably do. But the reality is I feel like most of the therapy out there has become less about solving people's problems and more about maintaining a customer base. And that's what I noticed, you know? So I think it's cool that you're doing it this alternative way.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's been cool, man. We've ran 3 programs so far. We've helped 17 special operators. We've got our 4th one coming up. So it's been amazing, man. The outcomes that we've had, like the success stories that we've had. And it's like, we don't prescribe, we don't treat, we're not fixing, we're educating, and we're kind of guiding them through and showing them the tools, giving them the resources. And like, I mean, man, you'd be surprised, like dudes that come there and they're like super down, sad, like everything, life is out to get me. And then they come back and they reach out and they're like, dude, like I've never been fucking happier. Like now they do art therapy or just do art in general.
They found other ways to deal with this stuff.
Exactly. And it's like, dude, like the only coping mechanism that we really understand how to do is fucking drink and fight and just like take this prescription medication.
Yeah.
Like,
well, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's been amazing, man. We've been a nonprofit now for 2.5 years. And we just hired our first employee. So it's been pretty fucking cool. Yeah, man, we're growing. I'm loving it. And it's like, kind of like what you said, like I needed to find my purpose after what I thought, like losing my identity, losing my purpose. And it's just like, when this shit happened, it's like, dude, I have found something that really drives me. And it's like, I don't have to get paid to do what I love. And I don't get paid. So it's amazing that I can really share my story and let these dudes have this safe space and become vulnerable and really fucking heal and like actually work on themselves from the inside, rather than like just telling dudes like I used to be like, all right, dude, like I'm sorry that happened to you, but like try again next time. Do better, fucking suck it up, work harder. Like sometimes it's not the fix, sometimes it's not that easy. So it's been amazing. Really looking forward to seeing how it continues to grow, because we have a pretty big vision, and
What's the big vision?
So eventually we want to acquire our own land, our own like facility out there in Montana. We want to be able to run at least one program a month. Right now we're about 3 programs a year. So funding, personnel, logistics, all that stuff kind of comes into play. But what we wanted to really do was like dial in a quality program rather than like bump out like a bunch of like quantity and like
Right.
let's help a bunch of dudes right off the bat. It's like I want to help guys, but I want to make sure it's a quality program.
Yeah, you want to make sure you actually help them.
Yes.
Because if you don't and they come to the program and it doesn't help them, they think they're unhelpable.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
They will start blaming themselves.
Yeah.
It makes it worse.
Yeah. So we want to be able to do all this shit in-house. We want this facility. We want to be able to have staff on hand, do one program every month, and then eventually have some sort of like longer term treatment, if you will, of like a 4 to 6 week program. So then guys that need extra help or maybe who are suffering from some sort of substance abuse or just want to fucking really immerse and like heal, we'll have that availability. We'll have like all sorts of like cold plunge, hot tubs,
Yeah.
Float tanks, like all sorts of different things. So then it's just like,
The tools.
yeah, exactly. Because, you know, you never know what's going to help. You never know what's going to stick. And it's really hard for like a special operator who's got this fucking ego to walk into some yoga studio or to some like meditation room. And it's just like, all right, like I'm fucking here. I'm like all juiced up right now. Like, who's going to with me right now? Who's going to laugh at me and I'm going to fight your ass?
Let's go.
So it's like, we want to give them and have that fucking sanctuary. It's like, you can still be this humble warrior who's still ready to fucking turn it on, but who also understands how to sit down, calm down, and like really like get deep and get within. So, yeah, we've got some big plans. I mean, might take a while, but we'll get there.
I love this, dude.
Yeah.
I love this. Like, I'm so glad you came on the show, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so glad. You're a fucking real fucking man. Like, that's real man shit. Like, what you've done and what you're doing and how you've overcome and what you're doing now to help people deal with that issues, you know, the issues that you've experienced. I mean, bro, that's what it's about, bro. It's
Thanks,
fucking
man.
good work, man.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. How can people get involved with this program?
So we've got a website, www.talonsreachfoundation.org. We've got social media, Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. But on there, we've got like volunteer applications. My email is just nick@talonsreachfoundation.org.
Now, how do you spell the website?
Talons, so TALONS, reach, REACH, and then foundation.
You named that after your buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
Yeah. And so there's like several metaphors, I guess, because we call all of our participants eagles that come through. And it's just like, you know, there's no better reach than like the eagle itself. Like we have such a fucking powerful grip. And like, if you ever looked up an eagle and their grip strength, it's pretty fucking intense. But it's like, if you think about it, like I'm senior or junior man in the team, it's like I have the power, I have the reach to either like fucking reach out and help somebody or reach down and pick somebody up. And it's just like, I don't know, I come up with all of these different things to talk about it, but it's like, I mean,
that means you're a natural born brander, bro. It's good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying, I guess.
Yeah, you're doing great.
But yeah, it's just, you know, I even called Talon's dad and I told him about it, and I was like, look, this is what I have this idea. I was like, there's by no means do I want to benefit off of your son or use your son's name in these certain ways, but like, this is what makes sense to me. This is what we're trying to do. And I think that this is how we can help the most people. And this is what I want to name it. I want to name it Talon's Reach. And he was like, fuck, bawling. And so he's come to almost every like fundraiser that we've had and stuff. He actually lives in Fulton, Missouri.
Oh, no shit.
Right down the road. Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, his name's Tab. He's an awesome human.
That's awesome.
But, yeah, man, it's cool. I don't remember what I was just talking about. I kind of got off on a rant.
No, I think we were just getting the full story, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, look, man, that's an incredible story. I mean, you guys who listen to the show know that I don't often get quiet like that. Like, and I've never heard this story from you. You know, I knew you sent me that video that one time, and I watched that, and we talked a little bit about it. But I mean, that's an incredible story, bro.
I love that how like in such a short amount of time. I think that's what people tend to underestimate is like in such a short amount of time how much progress you can actually make. And it's not like this was a 10 year. I mean, dude, this is recent.
Yeah.
And I applaud you, bro, because I think that's just fucking awesome. I think it's awesome.
I also think it serves as a real example of like what real trauma and what these things, like these terms are thrown around so often.
Right.
Oh, my boss was mean to me. I'm traumatized.
Let me go to my safe space.
Holy shit, man.
No.
Like, listen to what's going on here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's powerful shit, bro. I really, really, really commend you for doing what you're doing. And I think it's fucking awesome.
Thanks, man.
And I'm super thankful that you were willing to come on the show and share that story. I think it's going to help a lot of people. And I hope you guys will support my man here and what he's trying to do. I can vouch for this dude 1,000%. I've known him for a long time. He's a great fucking human being. And I'm really fucking proud to be your friend, bro.
Thank
Real
you,
talk.
Andy.
So
I'm super grateful for you.
Yeah.
I really appreciate you having me here.
Yeah, bro. Anytime, for real. So you ready to talk some shit on the government?
Let's do it.
That's a great transition.
All right. Fucking transition, man.
Yeah, guys, it is CTI, man. So let's get into this. Remember, if you want to see any of these articles, pictures, links, videos, go to andyfrisella.com. You can find them there. Or if you're watching on YouTube, jump down in the description below. You can find them linked there as well. So with that being said, man, let's get right into it. Yeah, headline number one. So this is an updated story. It's been the talk of the town. Everybody's been on it. Headline number one reads, escaped murderer Danelo Cavalcante survived only on watermelon for 2 weeks, hid poop under leaves, and reveals just how close cops came to catching him. Have you guys been seeing this? It's been a big talk, right? It's been a big deal.
Is this the one where they took the picture with the guy?
Yes.
Okay,
yeah. So captured criminal Danelo Cavalcante told cops he survived for nearly 2 weeks on stolen watermelon, and that officers scouring heavy Pennsylvania underbrush for him had gotten so close they nearly stepped on him 3 times. The 34-year-old convicted killer was, quote, brutally honest after he was apprehended Wednesday morning, sharing how he even buried his poop to avoid getting tracked. U.S. Marshal Robert Clark told News Nation, quote, he did say on 3 occasions law enforcement officers did almost step on him. They were about 7 to 8 yards away from him, Clark said. Cavalcante, who escaped from Chester County Prison on August 31st, had just been sentenced to life for stabbing his ex-girlfriend to death in front of their 2 young children in 2021. Prosecutors are expected to levy additional charges for crimes he committed during his 14 days on the run. It continues saying, after crab walking up and over a pair of close-set walls and escaping jail, Cavalcante told police he was able to survive for days eating watermelon he'd stolen from a nearby farm. The escapee drank water from a stream, hid within dense brush, and only moved at night. To cover his track, he hid his feces under piles of leaves. Now, this is what he looks like when they captured him. He definitely had a nice run around Pennsylvania over those 14 days.
He did all this on foot?
On foot.
Damn.
Yeah, he was moving.
Do we know, like, does this guy have training or something?
I don't know, man. I don't know. And I mean, Pennsylvania brush is pretty deep. I mean, it can get pretty rough out there, So I mean, I don't know if those I don't know if that's like branches that did that to him.
I'm sure it was the branches.
Had to be branches.
It definitely wasn't the
Bro, he fell
the
out.
amazing officers of Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Definitely the branches.
But dude, so there's been a lot of heat. So the picture that Andy was referring to, this picture here, that was posted when they finally caught this guy, has been circulating and going around. But he's getting a lot of heat. Like all these officers, they're getting a lot of heat on it.
Why?
People are furious, Andy. People are furious that Pennsylvania police took a photo with the captured convict Danelo Cavalcante. 2 people posted on X, formerly known as Twitter. Pause. Why do they keep having to say that? Like,
Because it's not sticking.
Is that what? Like, is that having to
it's not
remind
sticking.
people, or like
what do you do when you post on X?
What do you mean?
Well,
Like
listen, this is
X.
branding. We talked about branding a minute ago. This is branding 101. Okay. You have Twitter and you make a tweet.
Mm-hmm.
All right. A tweet is a verb.
Right.
All right.
It's an action.
Now you have X. They didn't think this through. I told you this when they did it. You have X. Now, what do you do on X? You make an X.
Execute.
Execute.
All right.
Look,
See, Nick, I told you. Nick is natural born branding genius.
They need to sign me.
That's right.
God damn it.
That's actually pretty fucking good. But yeah,
They got to come up with something. That's the best one I've heard.
that's the best one I've heard.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. But yeah, so a couple people went to X saying this one person says, quote,
A couple people executed.
yeah, a couple people executed on Twitter. Oh shit, that's gonna get shut down. Two people executed.
These motherfuckers are definitely turning us to yellow for no reason again.
Bro. But some people saying that basically this person said, cannot believe I have to explain why this is inappropriate, referring to the cops' behavior following the inmate's capture. Another poster, they call him it just doesn't make sense. Another Xer said taking a photo with the escapee was wild, while another called it truly embarrassing. Now,
What's embarrassing about that?
I don't get it. I mean, like, here's the thing. I think there's a common theme that we keep trying to make these criminals be these, like, you know, oh, they were on honor roll in second grade and they, you know, they helped tie somebody's shoes when they were, 8 years old. It's like, fuck that. This dude is a convicted murderer, right? Like, bro, if they would have held him upside down and took his lunch money, I would have been okay with it. Like, why do we keep giving so much sympathy?
I would have been okay with it. They shot him in the fucking head. Like, I wouldn't, like.
You're a murderer.
Yeah.
Like,
dude, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, dude, we're talking about this attitude around sympathy for violent criminals.
It's got to stop.
Dude, it has to stop. People don't understand because they have good hearts and they have good minds and they wouldn't do bad stuff. They assume that anybody who does bad stuff is it was like an accident or it was a mistake or it was something. Bro, there are evil people out here that will just fucking straight up kill you. And you guys like make excuses for them all day long and then until it hits you, right? Like that congresswoman in Minnesota or where I think it was Minnesota, wasn't it? Where she was talking about, sympathy for criminals and then she gets carjacked in her own driveway.
I don't get it. I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't understand. These people are criminals.
Yep.
Like, these are not good people. These are not people that have things like empathy and care and like do the right thing ingrained. Like, how hard is this to understand that there are people like this that exist?
That exists.
Like, why are we advocating for people that are disrupting society and causing harm and sympathizing for them and making excuses for them? Why are we doing this? It's absurd shit.
I don't get it. Now here's one more interesting take on this thing, right? And I saw this, and I had to go verify it for myself, okay? But if you go to Pennsylvania Department of Corrections, okay, they have this inmate or parolee locator, right? You search this guy up. And I did. I pulled him up because I've been seeing this thing, and I've been seeing there's been this increasing trend of how they label the ethnicity of people, okay? So, this is Danelo, right? That's him, okay? Danelo Cavalcante, okay?
Yeah.
Let's see what they labeled him in for the inmate details.
Race, ethnicity, white. Nothing weird there.
Now, again, guys, check for yourself. Take the inmate number. Go to that website. We'll link it down below. But I think there's a very sinister thing, and the only reason I bring this up because I feel it's important to call this stuff out for what it is BS, and it's messed up what they're trying to do, but they're trying to paint the picture. Danelo Cavalcante, a Hispanic male, they're labeling him as white to increase the
White crime
statistics on white crime.
That's right.
To justify taking guns.
And to justify the narrative of white supremacy.
Being the biggest
and
threat.
domestic terrorism. And also, let's just stop and be real honest about this. What if this exact guy, because let's be real, bro, like on the spectrum, like Hispanics kind of in the middle of black and white.
Yeah,
all right? Yeah. Let's be real. Like, What if they took this guy? What if they were taking all of these Latin American or foreign non-white criminals and they were labeling them black? What if they were doing that? What would the narrative be then? All right. There's a racial double standard in this country that people refuse to acknowledge. Even the statement of people of color is exclusive of white people only.
Yeah.
It's made to say everybody but white people.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a big problem. And there is a problem and a very open anti-white bias. And there has been for a long time. This isn't new. This didn't just happen in 2020. This has been going on my entire life. White people have never been able to say the things that other races can say. We can't say, hey, I'm proud to be white. I'm not proud to be white because I don't give a fuck about being white and you know why I don't give a fuck about being white? Because I've never been allowed to give a fuck about being white.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So when we think about what's actually going on and we think about the racism that's actually happening, let's have an objective look at what they're actually doing. They're creating crime data that doesn't exist to push a narrative that isn't true, to get people to exclude this one particular race. And if you were to say people of color and it included white people, but not Latin American people or not Mexican people, we would call that racism.
Mm-hmm.
If we said people of color and we just said, well, the color black isn't a color, the color black is the one that we're not talking about, that would be called racism. But because it's white people, no one calls it racism. And no one wants to stand up and say what the fuck it is. I'm not advocating for, like, I actually believe that nobody should really put their identity in their race at all.
I never did.
I know you
like
didn't.
in high school and shit. Like I just put human. Like legit. Like it's on all my tests, all of that.
Dude, if race is your identity, you're not a very sophisticated human being. You're a low IQ person. Like if you were born that way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like
there's nothing
you didn't
achieve.
do anything. Yeah.
Right.
It's not like you
Got a
worked
big
really
dick.
hard.
It's like, you know,
Yeah.
you know.
There's nothing to brag about someone's race.
No.
And it's very easy for me to see that because I've never been able to brag about my race. But if you say that to a lot of black people or you say that to a lot of Hispanic people, it doesn't make sense to them because they've never dealt with that. And that's a real thing about race that's going on. If we want to remove racism, we have to remove all the racism.
Yep.
And we have to get rid of all of it. Like this is a very nefarious example of what they do to push these racial division agendas that are not good for anybody. Like, dude, this isn't good. We're supposed to judge each other on the content of our character. We're supposed to say, hey, I don't care if you're black or you're white or you're brown or you're yellow or, anything else. We're supposed to say, what kind of person are you? Are you a good person or are you not a good person? Are you, do you contribute or do you hold a high moral standard? Do you try hard? Like, do you treat people right? Do you lift people up when they're down? Or are you a piece of shit? Like, that's the America that I want to live in. That's the America that I know. That's the America I grew up in up until, the last 10 years or so where it started to get weird. But,
Yeah, I just thought it was stupid. But like I said, I mean, like it doesn't do it justice by seeing it and not saying something. So say something, you see something, say something, I call it out.
Yeah, brother. Like, look, dude, if we're ever going to solve this problem of division in this country, we have to be honest about what it actually is and where it comes from. It's not white people oppressing everybody, bro. If we actually look at what's going on, white people aren't even allowed to say like, bro, if you go to the ADL website, like if you go to the Anti-Defamation League website, where most of the narrative comes from around censorship, around what's acceptable socially, okay? If you go to the ADL website, a statement of hate is that it's okay to be white. That is marked as a statement of hate. How the fuck is that a statement of hate? You see what I'm saying?
It's
like, dude, and this is why you're seeing all this backlash against the ADL on Twitter. Ban the ADL is one of the biggest hashtags for the last 2 weeks. You have all the big names coming out and talking about it because these people have manipulated social agendas to protect themselves and make everybody else's life fucking chaos.
Yep,
and I'm not talking about the Jews. I'm talking about the ADL and the people that are there running that.
Whoever they are.
Yeah. Like these are we have to stop generalizing people as whole groups.
Yeah.
Like we can't look at one I don't know what this guy is. Is he Mexican or middle? I don't know what he is.
Latino descent.
Latino, okay? We can't look at that and then say all Latinos are bad. Just like we can't look at a black person who does something bad and say all black people are bad. Right. Or a white person, all white people are bad. But somehow the ADL has everybody convinced that if one Jewish person does something bad, that means that you're saying it against all the Jews. And that's not what anybody's saying.
No, that's just their defense mechanism.
That's right.
Yeah. Very interesting. Guys, jump in on this conversation. Let us know what you guys think. Hashtag bad boys, bad boys.
What you gonna do?
Let us know
what you gonna do. Bro, I'll tell you who I wouldn't want coming for me. That motherfucker.
Motherfucker standing over caves and shit.
Yeah.
I can't, what you gonna do,
Nick would have found that dude. It wouldn't have taken fucking
all these guys.
Whatever, 5 days.
I thought it was crazy how they almost stepped on him. Like that's
why I wondered if he had any training.
It reminds me of sniper school.
Yeah.
I mean, there's plenty of times when those walkers will come by you and they'll almost step on you. I'm like, maybe he did have some training.
Yeah. Maybe. To know to bury your poop, like do normal people know that? I wouldn't have thought of that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, man.
And if you buried it, what'd you bury it with?
Oh, he was barehanded,
Fingers,
no doubt.
Man.
Yeah, no doubt.
That's what he's wiping with, too.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, guys, let's keep the show on the road. It's time to cruise the comments. Let's check in on our daily comments and see where we are. Andy.
Wouldn't wiping your ass with your hand just kind of smear the shit in? Like, does it actually work? Isn't there some cultures in the world that they use their hand?
No, I don't.
I think there is.
What culture is that?
I'm not sure, but I've heard it before. So it must be true.
It's got to be.
What is it?
Yeah.
You're over shaking your head?
No,
what is it?
Yeah, I think
yeah, but that's why they don't shake with that hand. If you try to shake their hand, yeah,
definitely don't touch your fucking eye. Get yourself some pink eye.
Yeah, guys, it's time to cruise the comments. Andy, you got something, man.
All right,
Andy's got mail. That's what we need to name this section.
All right,
you've got mail. Andy, I got a question for you. I've seen this a few times, and you got to answer it right now, like right this second.
Right this second.
Right this second.
All right.
All right, comment comes from user YT4BY. Yes. Hi, Andy. Stupid question, but I have to know because it's driving me crazy. Why is the water you're drinking different than the water you advertise? Not trying to be a douche, but just seriously curious. Thank you for being you, dude. You rock. I think they're talking about the peasant water versus the Fiji.
Well, that's why. Because that shit's peasant water.
Yeah.
And listen.
But listen,
bro, this is just marketing. I don't sell this shit. we take the wrappers and fucking stick these on for the show. Mm-hmm. You're welcome, by the way, because these guys fucking in here, they do all this hard work to make these things look beautiful. Mm-hmm. Just for you. That doesn't change the fact that what's on the inside is shit. All right? So this is no different than the race example that we were talking about. It all looks good on the outside.
Yeah.
But we don't know what's on the inside. I happen to know because I drink this.
Yeah.
And some days I got to be reminded that, there were days where I couldn't get that Fiji water like today. So I'm reminding myself today what it's like. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
do you have are you like a filtered, purified spring water guy?
Man, I am. I'm a water snob now. I drink some reverse osmosis at the house.
Shit,
so
this
definitely tastes like peasant water.
Yeah, you got to get all.
I wasn't going to say anything. I'm glad you said it.
It's the truth. You get this shit. We get this shit from Costco. Yeah. We peel the labels off. We put these labels on. Like this is nothing more than to look cool for the show, bro. Just keeping it real.
That's it.
Yeah, hey, bro, we got to get all the atrazine out of the water with that stuff. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
you can't afford to be growing a vagina around here. You know what I'm saying?
I check every day, make sure I'm still good.
Yeah. But, dude, real talk, like, honestly, like, jokes aside, all right, you might have a little bit of one.
All right, yeah, we're good.
I know the day you discover you ain't coming in. Look, dude, real talk, here's why I do it. Jokes aside. I really can't tell that big of a difference, all right? But the truth is that I know how many of those Fiji waters I drink, so it helps me track my water.
Yeah.
That's why I do it.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's the real answer.
What, it's two of those. Four of those.
I forgot what it is, but it's just like I know if I fucking drink a full Fiji during the show, like I'm doing good on my water intake.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make sense. You could just calculate the bottles here, whatever. The shit's cold up there. It's not cold here. It is what it is.
Hey,
look, hit me with some harder questions. All right. Talk some shit. Like, I want to roast some of you fuckers. All right. Like,
well, we're gonna get it now.
all right. And that's okay. We talk shit in good fun.
Yeah, I'll talk
I know our people are good people. But yeah, that's the real answer.
I love it. Well, guys, remember, we just want to say thank you to all of you guys for being real ass fans.
Yeah, and I want to say that too. I want to say thank you. I don't say it enough. You know, we put out these shows. We got a good team here. We do a lot of work to put these out. And I realize that you guys have the ability to consume anything that's out there. And it means a lot to me that you guys come on and listen to us talk about real shit that's going on, because it fucking matters. And there's a lot of people out there that would rather watch shorts of people eating boogers and fucking unboxing, you know, presents or just mindless bullshit. And the fact that our audience actually gives a fuck enough to consume our show multiple times a week at scale, it means a lot, dude. And it tells me a lot about who's out there listening. Like, yeah. It makes me proud that you guys give a fuck.
Yeah, that's real shit, man. Well, thank you guys.
Yeah.
So let's get right back into it. Headline number two reads, North Korea's Kim Jong-un to stay in Russia for several days.
He's like, it's nice here.
Bro, they're having a good time over there.
Yeah, they are.
Having
Drinking all that vodka.
So North Korea's leader, Kim Jong-un, has unexpectedly extended his visit to Russia, where he was meeting President Vladimir Putin for a suspected arms deal. The pair had discussed possibilities for military cooperation on Wednesday. Mr. Putin also, quote, gratefully accepted an invitation for Mr. Kim to visit North Korea, a Kremlin spokesperson said. So a little exchange there. That's cool. Moscow is buying weapons for its war on Ukraine, and any help would violate UN resolutions, the U.S. has warned. Mr. Kim was warmly received by Mr. Putin at the Vachkashki Space Center on Wednesday in Russia's Far East. The North Korean leader spent 2 days traveling there in his private luxury bulletproof train. Now, have you guys seen pictures of this train?
Does he not fly? I mean, is he afraid they're going to shoot him down?
He has a jet. I mean, he has a big like Boeing business class jet. Yeah. But, you know, I don't know. I don't think I would be able to do a train, bro, or at least this one. So it only can go 31 miles an hour because of how heavy it is. So like that's a pretty slow like trek, man. That's like I don't think I could do it.
Taking in all the views.
Yeah, I think it was like 800 miles or something from North Korea to Moscow.
I wonder what the purpose of that is.
What of taking the jet? I mean, taking the train?
Yeah. Like, is that a security thing?
Yeah, I mean, maybe. I don't know. I don't know.
That would suck.
Yeah, I mean that's a long, bumpy, slow ride. You know?
Yeah.
I don't get it. But the talk of the town between these two meetings, outside of all the political things that I thought was hilarious, is that you know, Kim Jong-un, he's a car guy.
Oh, he is?
He is a car guy. And so is Putin.
Really? And
so they're going back and forth talking about their presidential limousines. That's what the talk of the whole town was. And so this headline reads, bizarre moment, Kim Jong-un tests out Putin's armored limo and sits inside it, unlike when he visited Trump and was only allowed to peek inside the beast limousine. This is the bizarre moment. We got the videos. The Vladimir Putin invites Kim Jong-un to sit with him in his armored limousine, one-upping Donald Trump, who only allowed the North Korean to peek inside his beast limo in 2018. Putin and Kim met yesterday at the North Korea-Russia summit to inspect the space launch facilities of the Vachkashki Cosmodrome in the Russian Far East. So
you know what that shit was about, though, right?
What's that?
Dude, Trump had some unfinished McDonald's in there, bro. He didn't want Kim Jong-un touching his chicken nuggets.
He let one rip before.
Nah, bro. He hotboxed his own ride.
Don't go too close.
Nah, bro. He had 19 chicken nuggets. He didn't want Kim Jong-un touching them. That's a fucking fact.
So here's the video from 2018. This is Donald Trump and North Korea leader Kim Jong-un. Here's the video.
Damn, that thing's huge.
Massive. So didn't let him in. But
shit, dude, I didn't realize that thing was that big.
It's massive.
Because Trump's a big dude, bro.
Big dude, man.
Yeah. That is huge. That's like a SUV limo that looks like a car.
Yeah, well, here's Putin's. So Putin has Aris Senat And I think that's actually made by Rolls-Royce. I think
It looks like a Rolls.
who has like the drivetrain and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
So here's the video of those two. I don't know where the audio is. We'll get it plugged in though. And it's very nice in here. I'll voice it over for you guys. But yeah, so that's been the talk of the town. But here's the thing. There's been a new development in Ukraine I thought we'd watch. I know I got the sound on this one for sure. But Ukraine's transgender spokesperson issues stark warning to Russian propagandists. Quote, all will be hunted down and justice will be served. So let's watch this video. have you seen this
No.
person? Like, have you seen him at all?
No.
Okay.
Oh, you've never seen the transgender spokesperson from Ukraine? Oh, okay.
Here's the clip.
Shut the fuck up, dude.
Bro.
Russia hates the truth that their obsessive focus on a Ukrainian volunteer is simply allowing the light of the Ukrainian nation's honesty to shine brightly. Next week, the teeth of the Russian devils will gnash ever harder, and their rabid mouths will foam in uncontrollable frenzy as the world will see a favorite Kremlin propagandist pay for their crimes. And this puppet of Putin is only the first. Russia's war criminal propagandists will all be hunted down, and justice will be served as we in Ukraine are led on this mission by faith in God, liberty, and complete liberation.
You're better looking.
Damn.
Yeah, you're much better looking. I can't believe this is real life, dude.
Dude,
This is not real life. This is
That's
fucking
real.
that's real.
This is
That's not
satire.
No, that's real.
Will gnash the teeth. Dude, what the fuck?
Look at that Adam's apple, dude.
Look at Bro, what is going on? We somehow crossed into an alternate reality.
Dude. Yeah, that's who they got, man. That's the
So apparently what, they have somebody captured already? A Russian propagandist that they're going to execute? Is that what she's saying?
that's what they're planning
Or
on.
he or
They haven't
whatever.
captured them just yet. They're working on it though.
Okay.
Is what they're saying.
Yeah, just like they're winning the war, huh?
Just like the
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, but I mean, back to these beasts. I just thought that was interesting, but yeah, they basically got an episode of Pimp My Ride going on over in Russia.
Bro,
right
when
now.
we're in the White House, what kind of limo are we going to have?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we should go to Rolls, bro.
It has to be a Rolls.
Like, we need this.
It has to be Rolls Royce. It's not allowed. Dude, listen.
Like, get a Phantom, but like stretch it out.
Anything less for me would be a fucking downgrade. And
They're
if I'm
just
gonna go,
saying it.
if I'm gonna go do that job and take all this shit for everybody, I want to drive what the fuck I want to drive. That's real talk.
You been into any cool cars or anything? What's the coolest thing? Trucks you got to drive or anything?
Bunch of different armored vehicles.
You could drive a tank.
I got to ride in a tank. Didn't get to drive it.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, that would be cool. No, I'm trying to think, man. My memory doesn't serve me too well every now and then.
Well, it's Rolls. It ain't Cadillac. No offense, Cadillac.
Cadillac makes nice stuff, but man, Rolls is Rolls.
They do make nice stuff, bro.
They make nice
the new Sal's got one of the new Escalade V's.
Yeah,
That thing is fucking nice.
pretty pimp.
Sounds badass too.
Yeah.
Anyway,
How
Rolls.
much? Yeah.
Makes sense why Kim's got the bulletproof train that he had to take up there.
Why is that?
Because he's a car guy, so he's like
Yeah.
showing off his train going up there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
makes
that does
sense.
make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm bringing my train.
Yeah.
Right. Let me see your train.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
A train. He
I think
probably
it-
travels with a whole bunch of people though, too,
Oh,
dude.
shit,
I bet he
shit
travels with a
ton.
whole bunch of soldiers and all that shit.
That's-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's a weird dude.
Dude, he just does the things very weird, man. It's like, but you don't expect anything less.
Well, dude, he lives in a fucking bubble. Those people aren't allowed to know what's going on in anywhere else in the world, bro. Like, I don't know. What do you think he makes of this transgender fucking Ukrainian spokesperson? Like, dude, can we not be real here? Like, can we not be real about how embarrassing that has to be for the people of Ukraine? Like,
Well, he's an American.
I know that.
He's American.
Yes.
What?
Yes.
Yeah.
This is an
Yeah, he's
American
American.
transgender person that somehow got put into the role of spokesperson for something, the Territorial Defense Forces of Ukraine. Like, What?
What rank is that?
What is going on?
Yeah.
Anyway. All right, what else we got?
Guys, jump in the comments, hashtag pimp my ride. Let me know what you guys think.
Yeah.
Let's get into our final headline number 3. And this is juicy here. Headline number 3 reads, Hunter Biden sues ex-Trump staffer tied to laptops dissemination. Now, this is very, very interesting. So do you guys remember, I think it was when we had Eric Schmidt on, and we had brought up basically that screenshot. I'm pulling it up here now. That screenshot, and it has like essentially this tit for tat timeline, right?
You're talking about where they had the Hunter Biden. There we go. June 7th, FBI realizes June 7th, FBI releases documents to Congress alleging Biden's took $10 million bribe from Burisma. June 8th, the very next day, Jack Smith indicts Trump in Mar-a-Lago docs case. July 26th, Hunter Biden goes to court and rejects a sweetheart plea deal after it was revealed that DOJ tried to give him blanket immunity for future prosecutions. The very next day, Jack Smith hits Trump again with some more charges. July 31st, Hunter Biden's former business partner testifies to Congress that Joe Biden was on over 20 calls with his son's business partners, that Burisma execs pressured them to fire the prosecutor. You also have Joe Biden on TV bragging about that. And then the very next day, you have Jack Smith indicting Trump again for January 6th.
Yeah, so it's like tit for tat thing, right? Now, this came out, the lawsuit was initiated on Wednesday. But what happened Tuesday? Oh, they announced the impeachment inquiry for Joe Biden. And then now he's coming out and again trying to hit on somebody's on one of Trump's team. But that's not just it, right? So there's a lot of stuff going on. Matt Gaetz, he throws, the Speaker of the House throws him under the bus saying like, hey, either do this or you're out. You got all these articles being written questioning whether Joe Biden is fit to run. And this is all liberal left media that's throwing him under the bus, right? And then it comes out. We got some breaking news. You gotta do your thing.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Are we doing it again?
I mean, I think it's fair.
Fuck, I forgot how it goes. It's been so long.
You got breaking news.
Breaking news.
Breaking news headline reads, Hunter Biden indicted on federal gun charges. So this just comes out. This just came out. This is hot off the press while we're recording. Hunter Biden just got indicted on those 3 felony gun charges.
So he gets indicted on federal gun charges, but
none of the
not for taking millions of dollars for policy decisions that are affecting the well-being of our country.
Is this going to be what they use to just like hopefully sweep all of this under the rug? Hope everybody forget about it. Like, don't pay attention to all the millions of dollars of bribes over here. We got him on the gun charges, and he's facing like 25 years or something like that. Like, I mean, what's the angle here?
I don't know. It feels like, the heat's been turned up so high on Hunter Biden and Joe Biden that they just want to hook him into something so that people will be like, all right, we got him, and then forget about the real shit that's going on.
Yeah, that's
what it feels like.
Yep.
These people, these judges, and, people think it's Democrat, Republican. These people are all playing together, man.
Yeah.
So what they're doing is they're having a conversation on the backside saying, hey, this is hot. We have to do something. We have to relieve some of this pressure. And then they're saying, okay, well, we can do the gun stuff, right?
Yeah, that'll stick.
Yeah. And that way we don't have to blow the whistle on all the stuff that all of us actually do. And that doesn't come out in the wash. So we can just stick him with these gun charges. He's going to have to eat that. But that way we protect our livelihood.
Yeah. And I'm not a lawyer, right? But like, I was looking into I looked into the lawsuit and all of that stuff. And like, dude, all the hang up with all of this stuff, like he's suing the guy who put all of that stuff out on Marco Polo, right? He uploaded the entire contents of all of Hunter Biden's laptop was all uploaded, and obviously he censored out some of the stuff, right? Whether it was faces or credit card numbers. Or
Well, that's because there were
penises.
minors. There were naked minors on the photos.
It's
People
sick
people don't realize what's actually on that laptop.
shit. It ain't
like-
just the gun charges.
No.
It ain't just that.
No, and it's not just some crazy pictures of Hunter Biden smoking crack. Like, there's way more on there, and
Way
it's
worse.
that people aren't even talking about. That hasn't been covered by the media, right? So it's like they're showing a little bit, but they don't want to show the whole thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I mean, here's the thing: the Pandora's box is open at this point. But looking all into this stuff and what they're arguing, it's like people got to remember how he got here. He dropped a laptop off to be serviced at the Mac store, right? And he left it there. He didn't pay for a service. It was unpaid, and he left it there, right? The owner contacted him multiple times over the course of 90 days, right? Hey, come get your laptop. More importantly, pay me for my services, and Hunter Biden never did. Now, he signed a document that was an agreement between the laptop store and Hunter Biden saying that, hey, any property left after 90 days, unpaid, becomes my property. So he's like, Hunter Biden is now suing all of these people saying they used his information. Like, no, that's no longer yours. You've abandoned it. It's gone, right? Which is another reason why none of this stuff is really sticking in court. But these gun charges that are coming up, they're saying that the trials and all of that stuff probably won't get going until right in the heat of the election cycle. So that'll be very, very interesting to see how that plays out. I think they're going to drop Biden before then.
It feels that way. It feels like the whole left media is starting to turn on Joe Biden. I've said this on the show many, many times. We have to understand what Joe Biden's role has been. His role was not to come in and lead the country to a great place and, unite the country, which is what he campaigned on. It's not Bidenomics. It's not any of this shit. Here's what his role was. His role was to come in, do all the terrible shit that needed to be done to destroy this country. Open the borders, keep them open, shut down the oil production, shut down fuel independence, allow the crime in the big cities to go crazy, to do all these things, right? Send all of our taxpayers' money to Ukraine. Because had we had someone who was competent, or had we had someone who appeared to be competent, the things that Joe Biden has done would have been revolted against. And the only grace that he's being given right now is that he's old and senile and potentially just stupid, when in reality, he's not stupid at all. He's running the play as he's having the play dictated to him to run. Because we all know he's not running shit. This guy's not sitting in the back making decisions. There's nothing going on with this guy. This guy is a scapegoat. He's a pawn to serve a purpose, to get as much damage as possible so that there wouldn't be a revolt, because people will say, well, he's just stupid. He's just old. He's just senile. We got to get him out of here because he shits his pants, or whatever embarrassing stuff this guy has done. And if we had a competent person in here making these decisions, it would be very clear to everybody that the person who was competent making these decisions was actually acting against the interests of our country as a whole. So, yeah. So he's played his role. Like, he's done all the bad shit. He's made all the decisions that need to be made to destroy and demoralize and start to destabilize this country from a communist standpoint, which then well, how do you know Joe Biden's a communist? Well, he's taken millions and millions and millions of dollars allegedly from China, from our biggest fucking enemy. So what are we talking about here? We are occupied. We've been occupied. He's not compromised. He's a fucking traitor. That's real shit.
It's real shit. Nick, I want to get your take on this, man. As a veteran, right? You took an oath to defend this country, right, against all enemies, foreign and domestic. What is your view on how long has it been since you've been or since you went in? 15 years now.
2010 is when I went in.
Okay, so 13 years.
Yeah.
What was your perception then of the State of the Union, why you were going in, what you were fighting for, compared to what you see now? What's the difference? Where were you at then? Where are you at now?
When I joined, man, I wasn't really in for the politics. I wasn't really in for that. It was like fighting for the people that I loved.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I guess as a guy on the ground, sometimes it's more so about the fight. It's more about like the dudes to the left and your right. And then once you start moving up in the ranks, it's like, oh wow, like politics, like the big guys in the big house have a lot to say with what we do, because when you're overseas and you're targeting bad guys, you're actually doing the job. In different countries, you have to have different levels of approval to go do offensive operations. And there are several levels of approval that go straight up to the big dogs at the White House. And there are certain instances where there's like obvious bad shit going on and you're like, I need to go take care of this, and they fucking turn you down. And it's like, we're just letting terrorists walk around on the streets over there as well as here in the States. And it's bleeding over, and it shows, man. And it's like, I mean, I joined under the Obama administration, and then in 2016 Trump was elected, and it was actually pretty wild because like our pay increased, our equipment got better. We actually got, like, my whole team finally got outfitted with certain gear that we had been missing forever. And then 2020 happens, and it's like, where did the missions go? Where are we? What are we doing now? Like, what the fuck is happening? And once I got removed from that, it's like now I still continue to see, like, it's like a downfall in special operations. Like, they're still doing work, but it's kind of sad to see like the levels of approval that have to happen to just kill one bad guy that's doing an obviously bad fucking thing. So I never reached like a very like high level in the staff positions to get involved into politics, but it was, I mean, you could definitely see it when we're out there trying to fight, and it's like, what do you mean I have to get a fucking general level of approval to drop a bomb on this guy for doing something bad?
Or I have to let him go.
Right. Yeah. It's like, who else is he going to affect? Like, how many other levels? Like, it's, everything has a second and third order effect. And it's like, I learned about that at a young age, and it's just like, you do one thing that could literally trickle and cause so many different fucking waves. And it's like, you let one bomb maker go, and now it's like, now you're killing several other Americans, or you're fucking like, now this dude is going to train somebody who's going to go into the United States and do something fucking bad there. And it's just like, I don't know, man. Like, it's hard to really understand like what you're fighting for at times, because it's like, you want to say that it's for the dude to the left and your right, and then it's like you're over there fighting, and then you get called to either do something fucking weird or go watch something specific, and it's like, I don't know. Sometimes it's a little
lot to dissect.
Skewed. Yeah.
I think a lot of guys feel that way, bro. A
Yeah.
lot of guys who have served over the last, 20 years, 23 years say the same thing, man. Even more, like a lot of these guys, I was talking to Greg Anderson, a lot of these guys feel like they served for the actual bad guys. And like, that would be that's a hard thing, I think, for a lot of people to deal with, I hear it all the time though.
Yep.
I mean, like either openly, like Greg will post about it openly. That's why I don't mind saying it. But, a lot of guys will say it privately.
Yeah. It's real shit, man. It's just, it's sad to see that, like, I don't feel like this is the same America that, those guys have fought for 20 years ago.
Well, I think it's an important question for us to actually ask is, did that other America ever actually exist?
Was that even real?
Well, that's what I'm saying, because the only reason that we know what's actually going on now is because of the internet. So how much easier would it have been to hide the actual narratives when the internet didn't exist and just convince everybody here that everything we did was noble and just and right, when in reality, we don't know if that's the case or not.
Yeah, that's real shit, man. That's real. All right. Well, I mean, we'll stay updated. I mean, like I said, this Hunter Biden indictment just came down. We'll see what happens with that. But guys, jumping on this conversation, let us know what you think. Hashtag don't drop the soap. That's what we're hoping for. So let's keep going, man. We got our final segment of the show, guys. As always, we have our thumbs up. We're dumb as fuck. This is where we bring a headline up, we vote on it, or get one of those two options. So with that being said, our thumbs up or dumb as fuck headline reads, Iowa's Cade McNamara loses it over word choice while talking Western Michigan's defense. Not expecting that. It's just the immaturity in me, but I thought this was fucking hilarious. So let's just dive into it. So Iowa Hawkeyes quarterback Cade McNamara learned about phrasing on Tuesday as he conducted his media availability ahead of the team's game against Western Michigan. McNamara has helped guide Iowa to the number 25 spot in the latest Associated Press Top 25. He was talking about the Broncos' defense and his expectations when he started to laugh. Let's watch this interview.
I think, our level of communication up front and with me, the backs, and, really everyone just being on the same page, because we know these guys are going to come a lot. I mean, we have to be on key with our hots. We got to be on key with our protection. So, damn it, I was not expecting that, but yeah, we'll be.
So what he's saying is the Broncos defense going to bring a big load.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh my God, that's fucking funny, dude.
Come on, man, get your mind out the gutter.
No,
dude.
bro, that's great. That's real, dude. That's funny as shit. That makes me instantly root for this dude. Yeah.
So you gotta be on the hots and have protection.
Oh my God, dude, that's fucking good.
I thought that was great.
Yeah.
I thought it was just so innocent.
Instant fan.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Instant fan.
Right,
that's
Kate.
funny, dude.
I'm with it.
He just seemed like he ate a gummy and then went to that interview and was just
Oh man, bro, you could see it on his face as he was saying it, dude. Like there was like a delayed reaction. He knew exactly what
what happened. Yeah.
That's fucking funny, dude.
So what are we giving it?
That's thumbs up, bro.
Thumbs up. Yeah, we with that?
Yeah.
That's
All right.
good stuff.
Well, guys, Nick, man, that's all I got.
Yeah, guys. Nick, thank you so much for coming on the show, bro. Thank you for everything you're doing. Hit everybody with the website one more time before we jump off, where they can get involved with what you're doing.
Yeah, it's talonsreachfoundation.org.
Cool. Guys, make sure you give this man some love and support. He's on Instagram. What's your Instagram handle?
It is Nick Jones.
It is Nick Jones.
It is Nick Jones?
Super
or
basic.
Like,
Yeah.
it is like.
It is like spelled out. Like,
got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just clarifying.
Yeah.
No, that's a good question.
I'm like, wait, so it is Nick Jones or it is Nick Jones?
It is Nick
There we
Jones.
go.
Yeah.
That's what I was missing. All right.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for the support. Make sure we pay the fee. Don't be a hoe.
Share the show.